my studio. I'm only doing to Rebel and not YouTube. Yeah, here, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can. For some reason, YouTube didn't start too, so I'm only going live in Rumble tonight. I guess I'll just have to live with it. So I got my Rumble account open, and if anybody wants to join me in Rumble, you're more than welcome to. I know, Poe. I get you. It's hard to figure out what to put out there these days because there's just so much information out there. We just don't know what's going on. I mean, I don't know. Like I said before, I'm bored with it all. I am bored. I'm ready. Let's see some real stuff. I know. I understand. I get it. It's for those that you know have never been paying attention, have not been paying attention, and so that's all this information dump. That's who it's for. It's for the people who just was going along with the flow. Whatever was putting out there, that's what they knew, that's what they followed, and I get that. But it's just so frustrating now because how, and I've mentioned it before. I mean, I know I'm new to the game. I'm only like 10 years in, and other people are way ahead of the curve, further along than I am. And, Chris, Aaron, they've been doing this a long time, so they know. But still, I mean, if I'm frustrated, imagine how people who've been doing this for a long time, even Thumper, just imagine that. So I thought, let me see, and it's just, it's just, I don't know. I partly want to talk about a little bit about the immigration stuff, but I harp on the immigration so much that I think people are probably bored with immigration, and but I mean, did anybody catch this whole thing with the Manhattan? I mean, can you imagine two shootings at one time, basically? So let's go with this one first. We'll talk about this, and let's see. And I know LT talked about this shooting too, and we know yesterday. Let's see. Oops, wait a minute. I need to take this off. Take that down. Let me make sure I still have that up. All right. Let's go with Rumble Studio. So we have the Manhattan shooting, and this, I mean, I'm not doing the updates. I don't have anything on the update, but this came out, of course, July the 29th, which was Tuesday. So the shooting I first thing I noticed on this Manhattan shooting was that it took place in Park Avenue, uh, or 543. I mean, that's kind of, to me, that's an odd address. 345. It's sequential, and 345 Park Avenue, which houses NFL's headquarters. There was a theory back in the 2018, um, in during President Trump's first administration, that it seems like all of these shootings took place when after a famous athlete passed away. You know, there were so many athletes passing away, and it didn't really matter if it was NFL, NBA, baseball, car racing, whatever. If it was a formalized sport or nationalized sport, it was, and something happened to an athlete within a week. In fact, I was tracking it for a while. Within a week, something was happening. So I thought, really, this NFL headquarters. It's almost like, if you're brainwashed, if you're under that MK Ultra, that was the trigger. That would be, like that Walmart shooting in El Paso. Some other shootings that took place. And of course, we all know they always start screaming with the agenda whenever these things happen. So you have that. So let's see. The man who opened fire in a midtown Manhattan office building, killing four people and wounding a fifth, appeared to be targeting the NFL headquarters and had a note claiming he suffered from CTE, police sources told ABC News. So Shane Tamura drove across the country with a semi-automatic rifle and then carried out a mass shooting on Monday in the building that's home to the NFL's offices, officials said. He died by suicide. Isn't that what they usually do? If the police don't take him out right away, then they do it themselves, right? Here's the latest on the investigation. So when Tamura entered the 345 Park Avenue, police said he immediately opened fire at an NYPD officer and then shot a woman who took cover. He then listen to the words that they use. So he immediately opened fire. So what do you do? Just like Rambo went into a and started just shootings. Then he sprayed the lobby with gunfire and shot a security guard at the elevator bank. Police said the gunman left bullet holes in a large NFL crest on the wall by one of the elevator banks. Eerie, in quotes, surveillance video captured him allowing a woman to walk out of the elevator, sparing her from being shot. New York New York City Mayor Eric Adams said he allowed her to walk past him without any action at all. Adams told CNN. So look at this. So, and of course, CNN News, was already, claiming he was a certain race. So here's the other interesting. So you took certain numbers kind of pop out. They just kind of pop out at you, right? The offices of Rudin Management, where he shot another victim and then died by suicide, authorities said. It appears as though he was going after the employees at the NFL, said Adams said on Fox News or Fox 5. So it appeared Tamura took the wrong elevator bank up to the NFL headquarters, Adams told CBS. Instead, it took him to Rudin Management, and that is where he carried out additional shootings and took the lives of additional employees. Four people were killed: a security guard for the building, an executive at Blackstone, who was a wife and mom, a police officer who was a dad of two, and a young employee at Rudin Management. Well, maybe we need wounds to the torso, with one additionally shot in the upper or left upper extremity, according to the autopsy results. Wow, that was quick. Autopsy results were that quick. I mean, what? Not 24 hours, 48 hours. Tamura died by suicide from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to his torso, his autopsy found. A fifth shooting victim, an NFL employee, according to Commissioner Roger Goodell. Oh, and Roger Goodell, the one that that whole controversy with kneeling during the national anthem, isn't he a part of that? was injured and taken to the hospital in critical condition, the official said. That victim was listed in stable condition on Tuesday morning, according to a source familiar with the individual status. So here we go with the anonymous sources. Remember what we know about anonymous sources? Goodell said Tuesday that the office will remain closed through the end of next week. Police investigating the deadly Midtown shooting found a two notes. Found I think it should be found two notes. So was it one note or two notes from the gunman? Sources told ABC News. Here we go with sources. One page of the first note found in Tamura's pocket accused the NFL of concealing the dangers to players' brains from playing football in order to maximize profits, sources said. A second page mentioned CTE and blamed football. A third page asked, "Study my brain, please. I'm sorry," sources said. Well, think about it. If they are being or if this guy was under the M, MK Ultra influence, what do you think? What do you think they're targeting? CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy, is a brain disease linked to repeated hits to the head, often seen in military veterans and athletes, including football players, hockey players, and boxers. Tamura, 27, played high school football in Los Angeles, and so now you got a California connection, right? But he did not play professionally. He has no known connection to the NFL. It remains unknown if Tamura suffered from CTE, which can't be diagnosed in a living person with certainty, but doctors may suspect it based on symptoms and a history of head trauma. Tamura's brain will be examined as part of his autopsy, the New York City office of the chief medical examiner said. Oh, I mean, come on. New York, what is the connection between that and the virus, right? And what they did to the people who got sick. So, I mean, so now we got to believe what the medical examiner says. The second note was found in Las Vegas, where Tamura lived. So now we got another connection. Remember the Las Vegas shooting and what happened with the Tesla car that exploded. Second note was found in Las Vegas, where Tamura lived, sources said, describing it at least in part as an apology to his parents. Tamura lived in Las Vegas, where he was a surveillance department employee at the Horseshoe Hotel and Casino, a Horseshoe spokesperson said. So he was a surveillance employee. Gosh, stretch, right? Police traced Tamura's BMW, so he owns a BMW, movements, I wonder how old it is, movements through multiple states after it left Nevada. Excuse me. Oh, man. Sorry, I don't. Something's kicked up. Dust or something's kicked up. So, so they traced his movements through multiple states after it left Nevada on Saturday and entered New York on Monday. After about 2 hours before the shooting, sources said. Here we go with the sources. Tamura had two mental health crisis holds in his background in Nevada, one in 2022 and the other in 2024, law enforcement sources said. So, okay, so he's a surveillance employee, but yet he has a mental health crisis? Boy, someone knows how to vet their employees, right? Hey, rock and roll. Glad you're still around. So these holds typically allow a person to be detained for up to 20 or 72 hours if they are thought to be a danger to themselves or others. According to one source, when there is this type of holding in Nevada, officers have to transport the person to the hospital. Once that happens, medical staff take over and decide how Father Terrence Tamura was. What? Here we. Oh my gosh. Can they be more? I'm sorry, but can they be more obvious on who they basically weaponized? I guess you could say. Uh, so Tamara's father, Terrence Tamara, was a retired L.A. Police Department officer, according to LAPD. He began his service in 1990, which would be followed under Bush 41, and served 27 years with the department. He was a police officer 3 rank when he retired in good standing on August the 5th, 2017. Hmm. In Monday's shooting, Tamura used an M4 style semi automatic Palmetto State Armory PA-15 rifle equipped with a scope and a barrel flashlight, law enforcement sources told ABC News. Yeah, where did they get these sources? I mean, so the M4 style weapon is similar to the AR-15 assault rifle and similar to the high-powered firearms widely used by the U.S. military in combat and training. While the military version of the M4 can be used as an automatic weapon, civilian firearms are legally barred for being automatic. So M4 style weapons sold to civilians are almost always semi-automatic. In Tamara's car at the time of the attack were located a Colt Python 357. Python. What do we know? If you put your spiritual eyes on Python, the Python spirit, right? That twisting spirit, that lying spirit. A 357 caliber revolver, ammunition, medication, and 2 cell phones. Why does he need 2 cell phones? The source. I mean, this is my commentary. Why does he need 2 cell phones? The sources said. Where was he getting his orders? The shooter legally bought the 357 revolver using his Nevada concealed carry permit, which he's had since 2022. Okay, let me get this straight. The guy has had mental issues. You know, he had this permit in 2022. You would think that if he had the permit before he got the whole mental hold in 2022, they would have revoked his permit, right? And guys, something just really does not add up. In June, someone at a gun show in Las Vegas called in a tip saying Tamara had purchased large amounts of ammunition and an aftermarket market trigger, sources said. Of course, here we go with Hochul. New York Governor Kathy Hochul on Tuesday issued an impassioned statement punishing or pushing for an assault weapons ban. Yeah, there we go. Let's ban the assault weapons. Right? New York has some of the strongest gun laws in the nation. We banned assault weapons. We strengthened our red flag law. We closed dangerous loopholes, she said, adding that our laws only go so far when weapons from other states are brought to New York. Well, guess what? So here it is. So here's the rub, right? All these shootings, people talk about how, yeah, we don't need more laws. You need to enforce the laws that are on the book. We talk about how the ones that have relaxed laws, gun control laws, and the whole premise is that the crooks, don't care if it's legal or illegal. They're going to find to get a weapon. The bad guys are going to find to get a weapon, whether you have a good law or not, right? And so what did they do? So they found a guy with an actual permit to commit this crime, and now they want, yep, rent, yeah, rinse, repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat, right? Gosh. So the American people are tired of thoughts and prayers, the governor said. Congress must summon the courage to stand up to gun lobby and finally pass a national assault weapons ban before more innocent lives are stolen. Well, maybe if, like I said, how did this guy get a permit if he already had a mental health issues? I mean, really. I mean, they really picked a good patsy, I think, in my opinion. This guy, I mean, he checks all the boxes, and now you add a new box. He actually had a lawful reason to, or he had a lawful concealed carry permit. So he's connected to the police. He's connected to LA. He's connected to Las Vegas. He goes to New York. Why would he go all the way to New York from Las Vegas in the first place? What was the trigger? And nah. So an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us, and we must confront this violence head on. Right. Oh, I forgot. I missed this this verse. Sorry, this paragraph or this statement. Hochul has ordered flags on all state government buildings to be flown at at half staff in honor of the victims. Oh, that's the least she can do. She's part of the problem. President Donald Trump wrote on social media on Tuesday that he's been briefed on the tragic shooting that took place in Manhattan, a place that I know and love. I trust our law enforcement agencies to get to the bottom of why this crazed lunatic committed such a senseless act of violence, he wrote. My heart is with the families of the four people who were killed, including the NYPD officer who made the ultimate sacrifice. God bless New York, the New York Police Department. God bless New York. So let's see. All right. So let's take a stroll down the rabbit hole and let's look at Blackstone and what they are about. I'm going to start the share here. I'm going to start the share in Rumble. So if anybody wants to uh, join me in Rumble and with the chat, exact. Yep. It's all part. So let's go see what Blackstone and Ryden Management. So let's see if we can find anything on these. Get that. Since we got time. I really didn't have a lot on the on the menu. I'm really bummed out that my YouTube didn't come up. All right, so Blackstone, and I know LT did a kind of a breakdown. He some of the connections. That's weird. Because so there's when I put in Blackstone, there's Blackstone sausage stuffing, Blackstone griddle steak fajitas, Blackstone apple cider donuts, Blackstone executive, Blackstone golf course development controversy, Blackstone mortgage trust, Blackstone mortgage trust target, Blackstone griddle Walmart shopping guide, and Blackstone Valley. So, and aren't those some interesting topics? Let me see what I can. I really don't like these AI thingies coming up. So it looks like Blackstone Management. Is that what it is? Blackstone Management, which is looks like it's an investment company. Hmm. Well, let's see what this says. So this is coming out of the Cleveland.com. Let's see, New York Times. So he was from Bangladesh. And apparently his father suffers a stroke afterward. See, there's a lot. Should we go with TMZ, Yahoo, or Breitbart? Or we could go be CBS News. What do y'all think? Who should we go with? Or Gateway Pundit? We could go with a Gateway Pundit. I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Who should we go with? Well, New York Post I think is going to be behind a paywall. Um, hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I never rejoice when anybody's killed, but it's just hard for me to get that much sympathy when when you think when you come to believe or after uh, exp- uh, past experiences taught you that not everything is as we should believe. So, me, let's go. Okay, all right. So let's. So the hospital did not release him. The officer was one among four innocent victims brutally murdered by a deranged gunman who drove across country from Las Vegas to target the NFL headquarters in a high-rise building on Park Avenue. So they assume NFL headquarters was the target because of two notes that he had, and which none of this makes sense to me because he thinks he has a head injury. So the killer, identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura, had planned an attack. Had a plan to attack the NFL's headquarters in what appears to be a twisted vendetta. Like I said, Gateway Pundit is not any better. Why not just give the facts? Why not just present what you know as you know it? Over his diagnosis, well, according to the other report, he hadn't been diagnosed. They weren't even sure if it was possible he was, because there was no way to, you know, come up with a diagnosis during autopsy, according to the other report we just read. Over his diagnosis of chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, the brain disease associated with repeated head injuries in football players. According to reports, Tamura Storm, the 44-story building or tower at 345 Park Avenue around 6:30 p.m., firing indiscriminately and claiming the lives of Islam, who was working as a security guard at the time, a Blackstone executive in the lobby, and another individual in the offices of Rudin Management after taking an elevator upstairs. Tamura reportedly did not make it to the NFL headquarters, as he took the wrong elevator and ended up in the management office instead. The the maniac, oh goodness, let's describe him as a maniac now. Then turned the rifle on himself, committing suicide and leaving behind a suicide note that bizarrely thanked a CTE documentary and named prominent neuroscientists. The NYPD and city officials have expressed condolences with ongoing investigations into the shooter's motives and background. So, Cassandra McDonald, Miss Cassandra McDonald, maybe more than I would from the left. Stop using inflammatory descriptive words when you report a story. That's what I say. So let's see what Rudin is. Well, let's see. Let me see if we can get in for information on this guy. Uh, Wonder if it's possible to get one that's not biased in either direction. Just give something that's factual. Let's see. I'll try this one. This is actually ABC, but it looks like it's in local ABC, so maybe it will be at least. Uh oh, there we go. It will at least be somewhat balanced. I just want the facts. That's all I want is the facts. Don't give and my my rumble just kind of blinked on that one. President Donald Trump said Tuesday that he knows that area of Manhattan well. I trust our law enforcement agencies to get to the bottom of why this crazed lunatic committed such senseless act of violence. My heart is with the families of the four people who were killed, including the NYPD officer who made the ultimate sacrifice, Trump posted on social media. So, three others were killed, and a fifth person, an NFL employee, was wounded in the talk. So investigators believe Shane Tamura of Las Vegas was trying to get to the NFL office in the building Monday after shooting several people in the building, but entered the wrong elevator banks, Mayor Adams said in an interview. He took his own life. Tamura had a history of and a rambling note found on his body suggested that he had a grievance against the NFL over a claim that he suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy. The degenerative brain disease has been linked to concussions and other repeated head trauma common in contact sports like football, but it can only be diagnosed after someone has died. But I appreciate that last. I know everybody. People. I know that. Let's see. I gotta get my. No. See what comes up on root in management. Hmm. So I'm gonna go with WNYW. But as I was saying, I don't like it when people try to tug on my heartstrings. If you try to tug on my heartstrings, you've already lost. Just give me the facts. Let me make my own decision. Let me make my own uh, or my own opinion, and let me just decide on my own what I want to, you know, don't embellish. I just want to know, make my own decisions and what I believe. So this comes out of Fox 5. There we go. There's my mic on Rumble. So if you are on Rumble, for those who are maybe listening on live on Rumble, if I get kicked off again or my audio leaves, I may go ahead and shut down Rumble. Apparently, I can't do too long. I can't do live very long on Rumble and have be in Zoom too, or else I get kicked out. Yeah, I don't know how to upgrade the bandwidth. Yep. Okay, let's try this again. Get So that's three times I've been kicked out of Zoom, even without being in Rumble. All right. Where was I? Okay, so he walked through the lobby, and it says immediately targeted the off duty, which is, and then he took the elevator to the 33rd said why he may have targeted the building, and it's not clear if he was firing randomly or targeting specific people, or even if you. Uh, so, what they're saying Tuesday morning, uh, Eric Adams said he may have been going after employees with the NFL. So there are two different elevator banks, and as you know, anyone has seen many of our corporate buildings. Some banks don't go to every floor. Yeah, but that doesn't explain why if NFL was on the fifth floor, why would he go to the 33rd floor? That to me does not make sense. And dig deeper. So the management company is a large real estate firm that owns the building, along with many other high end commercial and residential properties across New York City. The residential properties mostly include desirable neighborhoods in the upper east and upper west sides, while Dock 72 and the Brooklyn Navy Yard is one of their most recent high profile projects. It was founded in 1925 by Samuel Rudin. It remains in the Rudin family. It's one of the oldest real estate firms in the city, and it's got holdings at over $2 billion back in 2001, but nothing recent. If President Trump, I'm sure he is, being from New York, I'm sure President Trump knows. Who knows? Probably knows the. So, yeah, I must be triggered. I must be triggering somebody if I'm I may be triggering somebody if I'm getting all these followers. I haven't had this many to follow me in. Yeah, so he has different rifle outside than what that the police show. I'm telling you, there's more to that story than meets the eye. It's not what we think. I really believe so. Certain words triggers a lot of people. Okay, well, we spent an hour. I spent an hour on that the whole Manhattan story. I mean, I wonder if that's what the earthquake and everything is a way of. Oh no, I took out the wrong thing. Shoot, because there was the Cincinnati. I wanted to do with the Cincinnati too. Uh, I deleted the wrong story. Great. Now I don't remember what the other one was. The Cincinnati, because there was another. Um, was it in Cincinnati? Let me see if I can find it. Was it I wish I could remember. Is it a Cincinnati shooting? I mean, they've arrested like 5 people and all that. Just in what within 72 hours, they arrested like 5 people in Cincinnati. What was that? Shot in the neck. Shootings. Oh gosh. Okay, there was a Fairfield shooting. Now I don't know what. Wish I could remember because they were so close together, and I'm sure like so there was another incident. Uh, let's see. So now I don't. Uh, Snurts. Maybe I can cover it on Saturday if I can find that link again. Bummer. Okay. Um, oh, I did want to cover this. I thought this was hilarious. So let's get off of the let's get on to the absurd. Let's get off the sadness and the and for a moment, and let's just talk about the absurd for a moment. Hey, did anybody see this? So So the where's Thumper? Too bad Thumper doesn't. Where's Thumper? I bet Thumper would get a kick out of this one. So this came out on the 24th, which is last week. So Seattle woman takes Navy's Blue Angels to acoustic torture of cat. So Seattle woman files First Amendment violation after being blocked for complaining about jet noise is terrorizing her elderly cat. U.S. Navy's Blue Angels, the military's most famous flight demonstration squadron, after she was blocked from commenting on its Instagram account to complain about the quote state sanctioned acoustic torture from the group's aerial shows and practices, which she said terrorized her cats in their final days. Lauren Ann Lombardi filed a federal lawsuit July the 21st, accusing the Blue Angels of infringing on her First Amendment rights. The complaint names Navy Commander Adam Bryan, L. Ben Bushong, the public affairs officers for the Blue Angels, and an unnamed social media administrator for the squadron as defendants. The lawsuit states that the Blue Angels perform shows in the Seattle area near Puget Sound every August using FA 18EF Super Hornet jets, quote, with the subtlety of a military occupation, unquote, while reaching levels while reaching speeds of upwards of 700 miles per hour, which produces extreme decibel levels. Shows Lombardi engaged, in quotes, in a familiar American pastime of complaining to her government about her government's actions through her government's social media accounts, unquote, to advocate for her elderly cat, Layla, who, who suffered from congestive heart disease, and calling for the demonstrations in August 2023 and 2024 to end the lawsuit states. However, she was eventually blocked from commenting on the Blue Angels Instagram page. In quote, these thin skinned bureaucrats blocked Lombardi from commenting any further, thereby muzzling an American citizen while simultaneously blinding the broader public from witnessing legitimate grievances against their government, the lawsuit said, of the people running the Instagram account. Lombardi's messages appeared to show her displeasure and frustration with the noise levels from the performance. Stop your FB, you're terrorizing my cat and all other animals and wildlife, one message states. F off, and nobody gives F about your stupid little planes. Oh, oh. I know it sounds like I'm making fun, but I like cats are okay. But still, I wonder if that really is Layla. She also left multiple comments on the Blue Angels Instagram post or tagged their handle on other account posts where she directed users to sign a change.org petition. We all want to feel safe. No more Blue Angels over Seattle. You know, there's always some little group or little minor. I mean, there are people that actually want to uh, ban. Okay. Yeah, if it gets to be too much, we may need to start. I can't ban anybody because I'm on my phone, but we may have to get some people to. Hopefully, some people can jump in and start banning if that gets to be too annoying. If that turns out that these are bots, but there's always groups and there are people that want to ban fireworks. I mean, in Texas we've got a fireworks can only be like two times throughout the year New Year's and Fourth of July. And you have people. I mean, I get it. Your parent, your pets, you know, but still, is it really that bad of an inconvenience? To have fireworks just occasionally. I mean, I know in California, there last year it was really weird. This year I didn't hear as many complaints, but people were complaining from um, was it Martin Luther King Day all the way until Fourth of July. For like several months they were complaining about fireworks starting. So. So when she was blocked from the Blue Angels account August the 5th of 2023, Lombardi sent the group a direct message calling them cowards. The message was never delivered because she was blocked. Lombardi said her cat suffered in her final days because of the aerial performances. Whatever bandwidth Layla's walnut-sized brain could previously gorge upon had been narrowed to a single overwhelming frequency, pure debilitating terror, this lawsuit says. Every August was good until then, but no August would ever be the same again. Layla's condition continued to deteriorate when she left home again. For the final time, she spent her last week fighting for her life in a specialty hospital before being humanely euthanized on August 11th of 2024, surrounded by her inconsolably grieving family. Layla's final days on Earth were marred by sadistic suffering, cowering and terror beneath furniture while her ailing heart struggled against the Blue Angels' relentless noise pollution. Layla died knowing only fear when he should she should have known only love. Okay, so I mean, uh, I, I don't know. I mean, I like to eat, and it's only like three days out of the year. Is it really that bad? The lawsuit noted that Lombardi respects and supports the U.S. military and that her criticism of the Blue Angels was focused on the, quote, environmental and conditional harms caused by their demonstration practices and subsequent censorship activities. Their practices, how long did they practice? She is asking a judge to force the Blue Angels to unblock her from Instagram account, to order the defendants named in the suit to take remedial First Amendment training, and to award her cost of attorney fees. Well, I'd like to see some of that. I don't know. You probably get an activist judge. Anytime they would not be screaming First Amendment if it's an activist judge. But I don't know. Does it? So, what do you guys think? Does this really follow under First Amendment? No, I get it. I get it, Poe. I'm just saying that if it, because we've had bot attacks before, and when they come in and they come in like 100 at a time, we need like three people just to. So, so I don't know. I feel for her. I'm sorry she misses her pet. I'm sure. Sorry, but I don't know. It seems like this is a slack exaggeration. So, I mean, she just wants to complain, and I mean, how long was she complaining? And I mean, using profanity. I know some people don't have a problem with it, and they're, you know, but after a while, it gets to be too much, and it's more of a distraction than anything. So, I don't know. Is it really about? Is it really about First Amendment, or is it that she's just upset because her pet is no longer with her? And speaking of, uh oh, there we go. All right. So let's get this. So I thought this was interesting. Yeah. I mean, how old was the cat? I think I saw somewhere where it was like 14 years old. I mean, it was an elderly cat, and the whole noise thing that bothers pets and everything, and everybody gets so upset. I don't know. Sometimes I think it gets a little bit too over exaggerated. So I thought this was interesting, though. You know, while I mean, it's like I told Chris, this whole thing with Epstein, Trump's first term about Epstein, nobody cared. They talked about, they were going after President Trump over this and that, and Stormy Daniels, and it's funny how people sit there and say, how can you believe a man who lies versus all these women who come out of the woodwork? Well, I mean, like I said before, have you seen the women who have come out the woodwork and claimed that he assaulted them? And by the way, he has not been charged with RAPE. He has not been convicted of RAPE. He he was, and we all know the charges of the sexual assault charges. Even Stormy Daniels recounted. E.G. Carroll. I mean, come on, look at the women he married. Look at some of the women he dated. You really think that he's got a type? You really think that these women would be? They're nuts. You really think that these women, he would be attracted to those women? I don't know who came up with the idea that he was with some porn star or some prostitute when First Lady Melania was uh, given birth to Barron. I don't know where that came from. I mean, it's like, where's your proof? Prove it. We know that. I mean, now he's talking about how. I mean, it's on record. He banned Epstein, and now he's coming out and said why he banned Epstein. And I think one of the words he used is he stole her. Stole. He stole her. I believe he used that term. And I mean, you just think about it. And I'm going to keep screaming from the rooftop. I mean, they misquote his that access tape. He never said he would grab. He said, when you are as rich as I am, people or women will let. And I don't know where's the falsehood in that statement. There are some women that would. I mean, look at before, or well, look at I think it was Kobe Bryant. I mean, anybody remember that lawsuit when a woman meets him in a hotel room and then uh, accuses him of sexual assault? You know, how many women have filed false claims for fame or because I mean Errol Flynn was got taken down because he had sex with a minor, and he claims he didn't know she was a minor. I mean, how many teenagers throw themselves, teenage young ladies or young women throw themselves at these musicians I mean, is he wrong in his statement? Was he what he said may have been crude, but it was also a private conversation. So who goes around taping private conversations? I mean, in a real world and a you know, in a perfect world, he would never have said those things in the first place. But also there would have never been a recording of that in the first place. It was a private conversation. And do I let him off? Well, it's first of all, it was none of my business. It's not about whether I should let him off or not. It was a private conversation, as crude as it was. But and if anybody wants to talk, well, you're not a Christian because of that. Well, it's called showing grace. So anyway, I just anyway. Let's get back to this thing with Epstein. And we know that and we also know because the attorney general came out and said President Trump was the only one who um, called him. President Trump called the attorney general of Florida, said, I will clear. How much time do you need? I will clear and I will tell you everything I know. And I think he gave him at least 2 hours from what I understand from what I read. So this is a repost actually from Red Pill Pharma. So the judge who denied the release of the Epstein grand jury testimony is married to one of the attorneys connected to Epstein's case, leading to the sweetheart deal. Now, nobody talks about the sweetheart deal that Epstein got back in 2008. I mean, basically, he was house arrest. That was about it. He came and went as he pleased. So Judge Robin L. Rosenberg is married to Michael J. McAuliffe, who worked as an assistant state attorney under Barry Krischer, Palm Beach County State Attorney. Krischer oversaw the state investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and approved the decision not to prosecute Epstein, leading to the highly criticized non-prosecution agreement. Many say the agreement was too lenient, giving Epstein 13 months in county jail with work release privileges. The connection has raised questions about political conflicts of interest in past Epstein related rulings by Rosenberg. So here we have Rosenberg. For example, in 2020, during an earlier attempt to unseal state grand jury records from the Epstein investigation, Rosenberg did not disclose her husband's professional ties to Krischer or the office handling the case. She has also reportedly failed to disclose the ties in the current federal case. Rosenberg denied the DOJ's request to unseal grand jury transcripts for Epstein earlier this month. The transcripts related to federal grand juries in West Palm Beach in 2005 and 2007 during an investigation into Epstein's activities that didn't lead to federal charges. So, so let me repeat that. The transcript the transcripts relate to federal grand juries in West Palm Beach in 2005 and 2007 during an investigation into Epstein's activities that didn't lead to federal charges. So I think it was in 2008 when they finally uh, got him. Instead, Epstein received that controversial non prosecution agreement from state prosecutors in Palm Beach County. Christer and McAuliffe. Isn't McAuliffe also tied to New York or something? Or am I thinking of something else? allowing Epstein to plead guilty to lesser state charges and avoid more severe federal prosecution. Judge Rosenberg was appointed by Obama in 2014. So, like I said, I just thought that was an interesting reminder of who these people are that are trying to. Yeah, I agree, Big Hen. You know, hey everybody! If y'all are new to, or if y'all are just joining us, I'm welcome. And so I got about 30 more minutes. So what is it? It's just, what can I say? I've said it before. I was telling, I told, so just, just a reminder about my YouTube. Unfortunately, I'm not, broadcasting live right now on YouTube because my link didn't go through right. But I am broadcasting on, or streaming, I should say. I shouldn't say broadcasting, but I am streaming live right now on Rumble. And I like the streaming live on Rumble. I just wish I could get more chatters in Rumble. So I don't know. Maybe it would be too big of a distraction. And I'm putting my link, but and let me also reminder, if you want to help, if you can, great. If not, I know a lot of the hosts on PSB are having uh, financial. We all are in somewhat form or fashion. Um, but if you do want to help, if you do want to support, you can, or you don't have to. So anyway, so let's see, where can I go from here? I'm gonna try to. I want to try to stream. I'm going to try to simultaneously stream a video. Hopefully, this isn't going to cause an issue. Canadian. Yeah, I agree. There's no way they would have put President Trump in the presidential position if he had this dirty laundry. I mean, come on. I mean, this man is probably the most vetted man, and how people can. I mean, you have Joe Biden on video, live, a live video, sitting there saying that, talking about quid pro quo, and yet they don't. And just, I find it. This is the reason why when I try to look for the other side, and see if there's merit, if what they're really believing has merit, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Okay, let's do some news. Let's see if we can wake people up this morning. So, for a lot of you, well, if you're on the East Coast, it is 4 o'clock a.m. And on the West Coast, it is almost, well, not 4 o'clock, but 4:30 a.m. Uh, oh, boogers. Let me see. Let me see. Uh oh. May not let me. That is weird. Hmm. Well, doesn't look. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. There is a way. Let me see. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see if it's going to work. Ah, all right. Let's see if this will work. Okay. All right. Hold on. Let me get that share down real quick. And let's see something. I need to double check something real quick. Yes. Okay. Trying to simultaneously share on two different platforms. It's a nice, interesting challenge. So, all right, everybody, let's give it up for Max Impact. to 9 p.m. Eastern, so adjust for your time zone. And one of these days, I'll have the tech issues licked, and so I am going to stop my live streaming on Rumble. And y'all have a good night, good morning. Enjoy the rest of the month. Remember, July, we are now officially July the 31st. We're at the end of July. We only have 5 more months to the end of the year. So it's going to be, I hope it's this year. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about, too bad I didn't get a chance to talk about, what does everybody think about this Josh Hawley? Everything he knows is wrong? Yeah, that would probably be interesting. Um, Want to give everybody a $600 checks. President Trump talks about rebates, and of course, he gets asked these questions, and then people go nuts because of his answers because he was asked these questions. And so now Josh Hawley, I mean, it's interesting because Josh Hawley wants to give American public people $600. Nobody does anybody remember when Bush 43 did that? He gave like over 2 years. He gave 400 one year and 200 the next. To help stimulate the economy. The only problem I'm like $600. Are you kidding me? After stealing the money off the sweat of my back, and you're only going to give me 600 to think that's going to keep me happy? I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just selfish, but I don't think it's enough. You know, you guys. I mean, you've enslaved us with our wages, and now you want. You just want. I mean, that's peanuts. It's peanuts. I mean, I guess I know it's better than nothing, but still. And then you have the whole issue with President Trump and Josh Hawley about the. Uh, I think Josh Hawley is, if I read it correctly, he's blocking the legislation about trading, stock trading. We know that a lot of these Congress people get their inside information, and they seem to be getting pretty lucrative deals out of the whole situation. So anyway. So so if all right, so with that being said, I think I'll just go ahead and end my streaming, and I want to shut down my Rumble Studio. Apparently, it's going to cause an issue if I try to stream through Rumble. So so bye Rumble, bye live stream, and until we meet again, go in peace.